Well, hello guys. This is making ice cream as a graphic designer, chilling with Mr. Dewar. Just have a little tutorial here I wanted to go over. This was for my students. Hopefully other people can find it useful as well. So let's get into it. So part one, we're going to go ahead, we're going to make a triangle, we're going to drag it out, we're going to play with the stroke and the cap, and then also we're going to drag some lines across, duplicate them, group them, flip them, and using our path divide it there. Part two, we'll make the top of the cone. We'll also throw a gradient in here. We'll use the rounded rectangle to make the ice cream tops, and we'll arrange those according to how we want them. Part three is just using our pen tool to add a couple other anchor points in this shape so we can adjust it. And part four is making your own character. So you make a character out of it, and in the end I have a little scene here, you know, an arm reaching in, trying to grab him, and he's trying to take off. So I'm going to be making this in Illustrator. And just made a new document, 8.5 by 11. And we're going to come over here. Underneath rectangle tool is our star tool. We'll just double click, change the points to 3, hit OK. Now I want to make sure I don't have a fill, so over here on my fill I'll just select none. And I'm going to change the stroke weight to 5. Okay, so there's our basic shape to start off. Just take it back. Okay. Right now I have these sharp points here on each corner. We want to get rid of that, and to do that we want to round it off. We're going to go to Window. We're going to go down to Stroke. With this selected, we're going to choose the cap and corner to be rounded. There we go. We're going to drag this down, get a shape similar to that. Take it down a little bit more. Now I'm going to copy this over, just holding Control, Alt, and Shift, and making that copy. Now I'll take the line segment tool, and I'm going to drag a line across here, and I'm holding down Shift to keep that on 45-degree angle. And I'm going to take it, holding Control, Alt, Shift again, drag it down to about there, and to duplicate it, we're just going to hit Control D, and we're going to do that a few times until it's all the way across our ice cream cone. I'm going to select all of these lines and group them, so when I grab one, I grab all of them instead of just grabbing the one. So I'll just drag a selection over. Now I can see I have all these selected, and Control G groups them, or you can also go up to Object Group. So now if I grab one, I grab all of them. We'll take this group and we'll reflect it. To do this, I'm just going to right click, Transform, Reflect. And we're going to reflect across the vertical axis, and we want to make a copy. If we want to make sure it's flipping the way that we want, we can also preview it. I can see, yes, it's flipping the way I want, and I'm going to make that copy. So now I have 2 of them. Now I'm going to grab and select all of my lines, not the cone base, just all the lines, and we'll group those. So again, Control G or Object Group. I want these lined up to the center of my cone, and I could guess, and I could, try and get it centered. But an easier way to do that, we're just going to select all of them. And I have an option up here. These are my alignment options. I'm going to align, horizontal align the center. There we go, it snaps, so we know it's perfect. And now we have to use our Pathfinder to use the Pathfinder window, Pathfinder, and we'll get this window here, these options. I'll make sure I have this selected, and I'm going to divide. There we go. So I'll make the top of the cone now. I'm going to use the rounded rectangle tool, and I will just double click. I'm going to choose a corner radius of just 0.1, hit OK, and now I will adjust this to the way I want it. Something similar to this. Okay, so it overhangs a little bit off the cone, but not too much. Has that slight corner radius. And again, we're going to align these, make sure this is in the center of this. So I'll select them both. Again, horizontal, align the center. It's snapped over just a little bit. You can also bring this up. Alright, now we'll make a gradient swatch. We want that gradient behind here. So I'm going to select this one. I was saving it for later. I'll choose my gradient over here. Just click on that to get the default gradient. And I'm going to double click here. Choose CMYK. And choose a color. Light tan. Something similar to that. And over here, again, double clicking. Choosing CMYK. This one we're going to make it a little bit darker. So something like that will work. So I want to save this swatch so I can use it again. I'll open up my swatch palette. And what I can do is just grab that fill, that gradient fill, and drag it over to my swatches. Now I have a new gradient swatch. So I'll take this and I'm going to drag it over. And now it's behind these lines here. So we have that nice gradient going back there. I'll grab the top of it, and using that swatch I just made, just click that. We have the cone base. Now we'll make the top ice cream parts. So again, rounded rectangle. I'm going to double click. Let's change the corner radius to 0.25. There we go. So it has a little bit more of the corner curvature than the top. So we'll stretch it out a little bit. It doesn't have to be too large. Looks pretty good. And I'll change that color. Let's just choose a light pink there. And I'm going to select this. I'm going to make a copy above it, holding Control, Alt, and Shift. Just dragging it up. And I'm going to duplicate that same step, so Control D to make a third one. Let's move this down a little bit. So for the middle one, again, I'm going to change that fill, maybe an off-white, and the top one, trying to get a chocolate color. Something like that. There we go. You can see how these are stacking, and they're stacking kind of the opposite way that I would like them to be. So I'm going to select this middle shape, and I'm going to arrange it behind it. So Object, Arrange, Send Backward. If we send it to back, it's going to go completely behind. We'll just send it backwards one step. So now it's behind this one, but this one is still in front of this one here. So we'll take this one, Object, Arrange, and this time we'll send to back. Make sure it's all the way back there. These are pretty tall, pretty large ice cream here. I'm just going to shrink them down. Now I want to add those anchor points to this line, to this shape here, so I can drag it up and give this ice cream a little point here at the top. So with it selected, I'm going to take my pen tool, and when I hover over the line, you see the little plus symbol. So I'm going to add an anchor point here and one right about here. Using my direct select tool, I'm going to just grab this point and drag it up. There we go. Pretty good. So that's the basics of making the ice cream. From there, again, we can go back through. We can add a little bit more to him. We can add the eyes, some arms. Here in mine, put some sprinkles on top, add a little tongue, and ended up with a pretty cool character. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you found it useful. Thanks.